Welcome to Medically Assisted CBD with Charlie Pimarini. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Medically Assisted CBD with Charlie Pimarini. Today, our guest is Bevon Findley. He has multiple companies. He's been in this space for many years. His first company was CBD.how and great CBD reviews. And he's moved into CannaForce, and I'd like to talk with him today just about his experience with CBD, the industry. He has a wealth of knowledge. He's helped a lot of us in the industry become legitimate and stay legitimate, and he's keeping everybody accountable. And I'd like to welcome him to the show today. Thank you, Bevon.
Yeah, thank you, Charlie. I appreciate the opportunity to be on this podcast and just mix and mingle and share what I know with your audience. So thank you.
Yeah, man, that's a lot because the short amount of time I've known you for about a year, we met on that Instagram live. You are a force to reckon with in the CBD industry, man. You have a very active, social media accounts and your websites. And so tell us a little bit about, why and how you came into the CBD industry.
Yeah, I appreciate that. For me, everything is about building for the future. But I started when it came to CBD 4 years ago. So a little back history on me. I was in the military for about eight, yeah, 8 years, and I got injured. Um, I have on my right hand, I have osteoarthritis. Um, when I was in the military, I fell, and in the military, for those of you who may not know, one of the things is the system is not there to help you medically. And so when I was there in 96 to 2004, everything, when you get injured, it was considered tendonitis. And all they gave us was like Motrin, just pills, pills, pills.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I got out when I had a real MRI with the VA and they found that I tore my ligaments and my tendons. And I also had carpal tunnel. And I had a ganglion cyst in my right wrist. So I got it all taken care of, but the pain was still there. End up finding out that after they fixed the ligaments and the tendons, because it was so long from when I first got injured, the bones started separating. So a lot of my cartilage started disappearing. So
Oh,
now I don't
wow.
have much cartilage in my right wrist. And then I'm right-handed, so my right hand is worse than my left hand. I have the same issue with my left hand, but my left hand it's not as bad. It's just right now I have torn ligaments. I have a less cyst in there, and I may have some carpal tunnel in my left hand. But yeah, I was like everybody else on pills, and then I worked. My one of my friends introduced me to dabbing, right? And so we used to
Yeah.
dab a lot, and uh, he was like one day he just like, man, have you heard of a CBD? I was like, no, what is CBD? And he's like telling me. So we went to a vape shop to get some wax, and dude, I got stoned on my mind at work. I had like a small like anxiety attack because
Yeah.
when I think the reason why I felt that way is because I know what THC felt like, and from
Yeah.
little research I did for CBD showed that I wasn't supposed to get stoned, and so I went online looking, and I noticed like this was 2016. I noticed all the companies back then was all new. A lot of
Yeah.
them came from the vape industry, right? And
Yeah.
coming into doing oils, and they brought some of the same core, um, let's say, marketing or just the culture into the CBD space. And
True.
so a lot of them, the same companies that was selling products were the same companies doing reviews. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is not right. There's no way, you know who to trust. And part of my background was building communities for years. And so I started doing my own website. I started on Reddit doing reviews. And as I started doing reviews, I started learning more about the plant, more about CBD, THC, the cannabinoids, how it works with our system, the ECS system. And so I decided to just post that to the community. And I love to learn. So the more I learned, the more I was able to share with the community. And then I've been doing it ever since in various formats. But yeah, that's a little background on me.
Yeah. I mean, Since I've been following you, I mean, you've been kind of like, the warrior for the community to make sure that not only our companies, but other people in this community are being held responsible for a lot of the stuff that they're saying and doing. So it's I think everybody should give you a nice thank you for what you've done and helped to clean this up, and giving relevant information and new the newest news that's coming out on a daily basis. And I mean, so that's where CBD was, and that's where you found it 4 years ago. And 4 years ago, just personally, I was still, I just graduated PA school, and I'd been practicing for about a year, and I had CBD was not even remotely close on any of my radars. And so, you have been in this for quite some time. So you've seen where it was, and where do you think it's going to go? Like, where do you see the future of CBD in the next, let's say, 5 to 10 years?
So yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I tell people that I love. I don't mind being the person that help everybody because I'm neutral. And two, because of CBD, I used to be really. I have anxiety and I have depression, and so I used to be always be at home, never out talking with people. I was in the corner, and ever since my CBD journey, it helped me with my anxiety so much that I'm able to just be out forward and help people. And I always tell people, like, at the end of the day, like, I really don't care if people upset with me because somebody has to help others, and it sucks to watch people be taken care of, taken advantage of, and so I'm grateful to be in this space. But yeah, so the future of CBD is gonna be, I think COVID really pushed everyone to think about being the health and how we can take better care of ourselves. And so what's coming is genetics. There's doing a lot of research on taking our blood, doing our DNA, see how it looks, and then you can figure out which cannabinoid you can give to a person based on the DNA using all the genetics.
Yeah,
And
genomics. Yeah.
genomics, yep, that's coming, and I'm excited to see where that goes. Um, but as far as the community as a whole, I think a lot of the bad players are going to be gone, and it's going to open up a space for the small mom and pop shops to have an opportunity to build their own business now more than ever, especially with people not having jobs. It's opportunity for people to have the drive and a little funds to step up and say, okay, now let me start a business. Because you have 4 years of looking at what was done wrong, and now you have the opportunity to use that to build really, really well things. But and so between me and you and the audience, one of the things that's I'm excited about is how immunotherapy when it comes to CBD. So like I always tell the community, it's good to take CBD, especially like a gel capsule in the evening, because at nighttime our body is when it's at rest, it's doing its healing, and CBD is being shown and being researched by some large hospitals for mitochondria activity to see the CBD can help the body heal much faster without any drawbacks overnight. So that's where we see the future of CBD, which is immunotherapy. Those are people with cancer, fibromyalgia. That's what I'm really excited to see where the potential goes. And end of the day, you'll see a lot of CBD infused with different products.
Man, that is pretty that's pretty interesting about the not only the genomic part of medicine, and that's what we do some testing in the pain practices uh, uh, about it's a cheek swab, and we're able to get the different types of enzymes that your liver, the CYP450, it's kind of that's a popular topic in the CBD industry, but we're able to cheek swab you and see the different genetics of how your body breaks down medications. And we are able to then see if you're a rapid metabolizer, if you're breaking down medications too quickly, or if you're not metabolizing medications properly. And that's 100% coming into CBD. And I think as CBD comes more mainstream, and we're going to just combine it with all of the old school kind of medical stuff that we've been doing, and combining it with all this new genomic testing, and talking about mitochondrial health, and pairing it with other types of supplements and timing of how to take your CBD properly. I think it's, I mean, that this field is just getting started.
It sure is. And to go back what you said about the liver, the FDA is working on the regulations. One of the things that's holding them back is because of the liver. They're worried about what CBD, especially isolated stuff, can do to the liver. And so they have it open right now where CBD brands can leave comments and build a relationship with the FDA to create some kind of guidelines. And so that's those of you who may wonder why the FDA hasn't stepped in yet is because of mostly the liver. Um, as we see when it comes to animal models, too much CBD can cause liver problems. And then, like I said, it's cytochrome P450 the enzyme. With the medicine, there's so many medicines that CBD can interact with. So it's you just be patient for those of you who I've been warning what's coming with the FDA.
Yeah, and that's great advice. I mean, uh, this is such a fluid market, and the FDA still is trying to get their ducks in a row to figure out, what's going on. And you've seen it where it was 4 years ago, and you're seeing it now, and it's just drastically changed from what it was to where you can only find it in the corner of a smoke shop to now there's entire just CBD stores. Now there's medical professionals um, selling CBD, such as myself, and so it's come such a long way, but it has a long way to go.
Yeah, it is, and I'm excited too because there's a lot of us in the community who are advocates about change and making sure that we get clean products. So it's a wonderful time, man, to be alive, to see how far we've come over the past 30, 40 years when it comes to this plant.
Oh God, yeah, cannabis was deemed essential, right? I mean, who would have
Yep.
thought that? Um, so, a little bit of a fun question: what would be your favorite minor cannabinoid if you could pick one?
Ooh, oh man. I think right now, so uh, I think Delta 8 might be something that is not really
Oh,
popular right now.
yeah.
And so I have a vape from
Okay.
a company in Chicago called Three Chi, and they have a vape. It's Delta 8, comes in different terpene flavors and
Yeah.
profiles. So if you want different effects like daytime and nighttime, you can mix and match. But the feeling of Delta 8 is how do I put this? It's like smoking Delta 9 THC, but you don't get stoned out your mind. You still feel a little effects, but you
Huh.
can go about your day. I felt a little pain relief, especially like right now with all the pain I've been going through. But I've been experimenting, using it every day, and so far I really like it. It's like a mini Delta 9 THC without getting that heavy high.
Wow, that's actually really cool. Yeah, I'm not very familiar with that, and so I'll do some research. But that's just amazing what this whole plant can produce, right? Over 150 different active molecules that we only know about right now. And I think you're the one that I saw the article first posted about, the CBDP and the THCP, the phosphorus, ends of attached to these other molecules. And we're just learning so much about this plant. And so it's just so hard it stinks when people paint this plant into a corner of, it's the devil and all these certain things. And it's really just a beautiful plant, and it's helping someone like you who's got chronic pain, and you're using it correctly to help your pain and help your anxiety. And I think that's the way that, this was intended to be.
Yeah, man, I'm really grateful because yeah, we'll talk about that later, but I'm really grateful for what this plan has done for me in my daily life and anything I can do to give back and tell people, hey, this is the right way. Because for me, I don't want to be influencer. I want to be an advocate, an educator to
Hmm.
really help people who's in pain and not just promote a product that isn't really good for them.
Yeah, and I think that's where you've already positioned yourself doing. You've worked hard in the last couple years to really build your community, and to make yourself a trusted figure, which has been awesome. Um, that leads me to the next thing I really wanted to talk about is the new venture that you've really spun off, and you've really kind of put a lot of energy and time into, called CannaForce. What is that about?
Yeah, thanks. CannaForce it's community based. So anybody who follows me on Instagram or any other channels know that I've been using Gracie reviews since the beginning to do reviews, and I've kind of used it to grow as I grow because I didn't want to like always just promote reviews. And one of the things I've always noticed from people is they ask the same questions. Hey, we need help. Nobody's really helping us. We get censored. So CannaForce is a way to bring the community together and have a place for people to talk about just uh, THC, for example, CBD, hemp. If you want to talk about bongs, you can talk about bongs. If you want to talk about edibles, you have a space there. And for me personally, it allows me to continue doing what I do, but do it in a safe place where I have the power because Instagram or Facebook can shut me down at any time. Any of us, if they
Yeah.
feel, when it comes to CBD and cannabis. So CannaForce is a way for us to have that safe space. And the beautiful thing about it is we have a section for regular consumers, and we have a section for businesses who need like consultations, they need help growing their business, and then we can connect them out as well with the consumers. So the brands can talk to consumers, consumers can talk to the brands, and just build a community in a safe environment.
Yeah, that's so important, especially in our industry of trans, being just so transparent because a lot of these brands hide behind certain claims and they're changing labels, changing COAs and claiming full spectrum doesn't have THC, just so it's really important to build this community where, honestly, a lot, especially because I'm in pain management. So a lot of my patients and consumers of my product are mostly older and they still are under the impression, and so was I, frankly, until a couple of years ago, that, CBD is marijuana, it's going to get you high. So it's so awesome that you've created this community where people, brands, educated people can come together and help out these uneducated folks and kind of get them, get their toes wet in this industry and tell them how, buying a 250 milligram tincture is just a waste of your money because there's, not even enough THC CBD in there to do anything. And, people, I'm seeing a lot of lately and I think you comment on this is I've been seeing a lot of CBD products that are just so overpriced, and hemp is so CBD isolate and CBD, stuff has come down in price so much that the prices don't need to be $200-300 for a 1,500 milligram tincture. Um,
Yeah, I agree. It's gonna
yeah,
be I can tell people $30, $40, $50 CBD is coming. And brands who are not prepared to make changes are gonna be the ones gonna be failing. If you're selling $100, $150 CBD, you're not gonna last long unless you have a
mhm,
specific niche. But yeah, the price is coming down, and as we build more farms, it's gonna even go cheaper. And then once Walmart, Costco, all the big brands get involved with selling CBD, they're going to need a lot of CBD. And so it's going to be up to farms to produce high quality, which means the price is going to come down. So over the next 5 years, you're gonna see it's going to be very affordable for people to get the health. And like you said, 250 milligrams is nothing. It's
yeah,
basically all that you just take in.
yeah.
Um, and that's why I would recommend, 15 ml bottles and high concentrates is so much better for the body.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, and that's why you created that CannaForce because you saw the same questions from both the consumer side and the business side, so you were able to create this community. So people just have, a space to kind of come together like a virtual coffee shop so they can, shoot shop and have legitimate knowledge because you're making sure that there's no, shysters or bad actors inside of there really, mucking it up. So that's awesome,
Exactly.
man.
Right.
Um,
Thank you. Thank you.
and so how do people go about, becoming a part of that community? How would you go about doing that?
So I'll have to go to CannaForce.org. It's free
Okay.
to sign up. We have two sections. Free sections for regular individuals. The business section, which is more of the consultations, you can have access to. We've vetted like labs. We vetted other like brand supporting brands. So if you need like, labels, you need lab reports, you can
Yeah.
or lab testing, you can get as a business, and that's $20 a month. And then the free side is just forums and groups. So if, like say somebody, hey, into let's say anxiety is the issue, then and they say, hey, Bevon, can you please create us an anxiety group? I can do that for them and have a special group for them. They can have their own little forum so they can post what they want. They can mingle, and it's just like a little bit like Instagram as well. So you can leave your own status update on your own profile. So and you could chat with people on there. So it's very easy. Just go to cannaforce.org, sign up, and then you could post or read any of the information that we've been posting and just mix and mingle.
Man, I mean, that's awesome, man. I don't think I've seen anything else like that. And that's awesome that you've using your knowledge and your power for good and making sure. I mean, I've seen you get I've from the sidelines. I've seen you get into some spats with some just people that you called out that weren't happy, and I'll text you
Yeah.
offline and be like, that was a rough one. You're like, yeah, it's
And
that's what it is. Uh,
the beautiful thing about it is I was prepared for it because I knew it was coming. Let's say as you grow
yeah,
in the industry, people who are just hateful, they come out. But I'm really glad, man, because if it wasn't for CBD, I would have been like angry, upset and just retaliate in a bad manner. But
yeah,
like having friends like you and everybody else who just talk to me and check on me, that's what it's all about. It's there's a moment when the people you've been connected with so long just come back and say, "Hey, man, don't give up. It's gonna be okay." We're checking on
yeah.
you, and that means a lot to me, man.
Dude, and that's one thing I noticed since I kind of broke in the industry, um, but a little less than a year ago was just how this community, like if you're doing it correctly, people like you and all the other companies that we're close with, everyone is just looking out for each other and just really trying to push the industry in the correct direction and just being cool with each other. There's competition, but it's still everybody just knows their niche and everyone's just playing nice in the sandbox, and it's really cool to see.
Yeah, it is, and I'm really grateful
Yeah,
because we need each other.
yeah. So kind of continue with the theme of you giving back, man. Something that I feel like it's so important to talk about is your Bee Plant organization. What's that about?
So, B Plant is my opportunity to give back.
Hmm.
It, you know, everything I'm doing, my long-term goals, doesn't mean nothing if I don't have something to give back to the community. And so B Plan is a 501c nonprofit that we founded in California. It's me, Kalina, and we have the young lady you met at the event. She's part of it now, and so it's like my daughter has on the spectrum. I have family members who have lupus. I have family members with endometriosis, and B Plan is a way for us to talk about plant-based medicine to help them and others, and it's also a way for us to help the younger generation learn about the plant. So one of the things right here I'm doing in Richmond, Virginia now, is getting connected with the community here to tackle eco villages, solar power, teach the young individuals how to grow like not only hemp but like um, squash, pumpkin, potatoes, and show them like different agriculture that you can use to help better themselves. And it's all plant based, so it's a wonderful opportunity for us to just give back and say thank you, to help for those who helping us, and to just give back because I don't know, like nothing worse in life than getting somewhere and not helping others along the journey, just like I've been helped.
Yeah, man, that's amazing, Bevan. That's what makes you special, man. You're all about, you really are all about giving back. You're not just speaking it, you're actually living it. That's amazing, man.
Yeah, thank you.
So the one question I really like to ask a lot of people is, what does CBD mean to you?
Uh, um, so as of right now, like in the immediate, CBD means it's a lifesaver for me. And the reason I say that, so my background is digital marketing. So I build websites, um, and social media, SEO, things like that. And when I was in Florida, I found for CBD, that was 2016. I was building websites for doctors and hospitals, and I knew that I saw my future, and I knew that my hands were hurting me. I can only do so much. I watch a lot. I learn. I like to learn, and I educate myself on what's going on in the world, and I saw that everything's changing. People are waking up to being better, and so that's what made me go for all in on CBD and learn as much as I can. And so I can say like if I wasn't in CBD industry right now, I'd probably be out of a job. I would be in so much pain. I'd have been overweight like I was. I lost 40 pounds in my journey. So I would have been
Oh,
still
oh,
overweight.
wow.
Yeah, I would have been one of those guys you said, hey, he's a military veteran in pain. He can't work. He has to rely on his DA benefits, and then he's back home with his, with family or his mom, And so
Yeah.
that's where I would have been right now if it wasn't for CBD. So I'm really grateful for everything because I was able to build a business. I'm able to help connect with people. And then as far as the future, man, I got so much, when it comes to CBD. It's like how do I put it? I, so in community, because I'm so in the middle, the members tell me, "Hey, Bevon, can you find us good quality CBD?" Right? And then consumers say, "Hey, Bevon, can you please help us connect with brands? We want with consumers. We want to let them know that we have a good brand." And it took me 4 years to finally figure out how to do this in a neutral space. But we're building something behind the scenes to connect stores and consumers together in a one place. Have full transparency, so you know who the brands are, you know who the farmers are. You get like a certification program. So I have something really big coming. That's really the future, and I finally able to do it because I have a team now, and I was able to do it in a way that's unbiased, and rather than me having to push reviews to help everybody.
Wow, man. That's something I haven't heard of. So that's great that you're kind of, starting to talk about that. That's great. Just another way to make sure that this field is staying legitimate and we're doing the right things and not saying and making claims and not peddling bad products, man. That's just great. And, I appreciate you. I appreciate your friendship and I appreciate, all the stuff that you've done for the industry. And I think a lot of people would tell you the same thing. So, anything else you want to say? You want to talk about?
Yeah, man, I appreciate you, man. I'm really grateful for everything you've doing, and I'm also really grateful that you took the time to come to our B Plant event in February and speak
Anytime.
to everybody because it means a lot, to us to give back and help others because we are all leaders, and as we continue growing, I really value your friendship, man, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I don't, yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say, but I'm just really, thank you for allowing me to have the space to just open up and share.
Yeah, man, that's great. And, I appreciate you and thanks a lot. And, I'm glad that this is a little bit behind the scenes about Bevon. Everyone sees Bevon on the Instagram warrior, battling it out with all the bad actors. So it's nice to kind of get a little bit behind the scenes of, what brought you in this and your Navy career and about your family and your daughter and about what B Plant is. And, I don't think a lot of people really understand that. So it's nice to kind of get that out for you.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate it. One thing I can say is I've been in a bubble for the last 4 years, helping people where I was going, going, going. I never really took the time to relax and absorb what I've accomplished. And so, like lately, I've been hearing a lot of people know I was telling me thank you because before I never used to hear it, because I'm always, just give, 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 and I never had the time to just relax. And now that I've taken more time, I can feel the love that's been returning from everything I've been given. So I'm really grateful, and I'm so glad I stuck to my heart and follow, my gut, and just continue to just shine a light, man. So I'm really grateful. Thank you.
That's awesome, man. Well, it's hope you have a great weekend and keep trucking along. And if anybody wants to contact him, media at CBD.how, we'll put that into the description. You can follow one of his many accounts, CBD.how, great CBD reviews, or CannaForce, all on every social media platform. Puts out great content. It's all good, researched content, and he, even relevant news stories. So he's a great follow. He's a great guy. And so if you have any questions about starting your own CBD company or, you know, what company is legitimate, he's definitely the guy to check out. And he'll help you out as much as he can. So with that, man, I'd like to thank you and take it easy and have a good night.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it, and I love everybody, and thank you so much.
All right. Bye, Bevon.